So here is my Temu haul. So this was all purchased for around $50, and you can use my code right here to get a $100 coupon, and also new users get 50% off their first order, and that's how I was able to get this for $50. Again, you can use this code right here. And to download the app, all you need to do is go to your app store. For example, I am an iPhone user, so I just go to the app store, you can type in Temu, and you can download it right there. Now let's talk about the price of each of these individual items. So this device was $20, and this is like the best budget handheld I can recommend right now. This is the Powkiddy, and this is similar to a Game Boy, has that same style, the same design, and this was around $30 or $35 when I purchased it. And this is the Miyoo Mini Plus. So this is probably the best one you can buy right now, at least out of these three, and this was around $50. But I was able to get all of these for $50 instead of around $100, which is really sweet. So this definitely favors those new users, because the new users are going to get that $100 coupon. And if you're interested in that, that will all be in the description down below. So let's talk about these devices. So first up is the DataFrog SF2000. This was the $20 device that you can get from Temu, and this is one of my kids' favorites. This is the one I let them play, actually, compared to these two. So this is a very simple device. So all you have to do is go up and down to choose what system that you're wanting. And for example, starting from the beginning, we have just the user settings. We have a ROMs list that we can actually add our games onto this because it has an SD card here. And we can also have a favorites list, history, and a search option. We can play arcade, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Game Boy, Sega, Super Famicom, and this one's called Family Computer. So I'm going to be playing this for Game Boy Advance, or my kids will pick whatever they want and they can play from there. But let me show you a little bit deeper dive. So it says that there's 700 games here, but how do we get to those? We can't do it left or right, so all we have to do is hit the start button and we can get into this menu. For example, I have a favorite on Pokemon Emerald, and I can take that off by just pressing the Y button there. And we can go up or down to go one by one, or we can go left and right to skip about 10 each. Actually, it's about looking like 8, but still, this is an easy way to get into game emulation. This is going to be probably the cheapest option right now for $20. And if you want to get out of this, you just have to hit that select button, and now we're back to the main menu. And if you want to turn it off, you can switch that power button right there, and that's it. Next, let's talk about the Powkiddy. So this is the Game Boy lookalike of sorts. We have the power button right here. We can turn that on, and we know it's on because there's this green light right here. And that is the splash screen at the very beginning. It will have some text that goes through it. And this can play up to PlayStation 1 and older. So if you want to play PlayStation, that is an option on here. Again, this is just another device that I prefer Game Boy Advance, so that's what I use it for. And it comes with games already on it. So if you're not wanting to find your own games, this is a great way to do so. For example, there's Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, even some Mario games. And whenever you're done with that, it says that we need to press the start button to exit. So we can go to PlayStation, and they already have games on here. Not as many as another list such as the Game Boy Advance. So again, we just hit start to exit, and it can play anything from Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Family Computer, Neo Geo, Arcade, Game Gear. There's a lot this device can do. But the thing that you need to know is if you want to turn it off, you'll have to go to the top here. So we can use these triggers to do that, to go back and forth. You'll need to go to power and then turn it off through here. And once that's turned off, we still have to switch this off. So you do have to do that kind of meticulous way to turn it off. Now my favorite is the Miyoo Mini. So all we have to do to turn it on is press this power button, hold it, and then these green lights are going to come on. And I did add custom firmware to this. So this isn't going to look like what you will get if you do purchase this. For example, it has Onion OS instead of the Miyoo OS. And right now, this is my favorite device out of these three. This is the $50 Miyoo Mini Plus on Temu right now. It may not be listed for $50, but you can get that 50% off. So you may end up paying $35 instead of the $70 that they're wanting. So again, you can have a favorites list, a games list, you can have apps, and apps is not what we think of compared to cell phones. Apps is more like you can get achievements for certain games. You can look for themes. You can do a lot of things with this. And my favorite feature of this is we can press this circle in the middle And now it has our previous games that we've played in a queue. For example, I can go left and right, and you can see I've been playing these games, and I can just pick up right where I was. For example, with Spyro, this is the PlayStation 1, and I can just hit continue, and since this is a PlayStation, this would be the X button here, and we can just play Spyro on this handheld, which is crazy. And whenever I'm done, I could hit the start button or whatever I wanted, and just do that, and I can go right back to whatever games I wanted to in this queue, which I was playing this Pokemon game here. So overall, this is my favorite device. And if I do want to exit, I can just hit that B button, and it takes me back to the original menu, and I can just hold this to power it off. It'll vibrate, and that's it. So again, you can use this code right here, and this will give you $100 coupons for new users, and you can click that link in the description down below. I'll also have a link to all of these if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching.